It's that dreaded time of the year when we all have to file our income taxes. While some will end up with more money in their pockets, others will end up with less. Liz Millardo is a financial services representative at Barnum Financial Group and is back with us today. Welcome back, Liz.
Thanks, Jocelyn.
It's great to have you. All right, what should people be doing at this point in the process if they want to file their tax returns on time?
Well, hopefully at this point in the process they have everything that they need from their banks and financial institutions, their W-2s and like that, and they really should be gathering all that information together and calling their financial professional, their CPA or tax professional, and set up an appointment to get in there and get their taxes done. I mean, we're in the first week of March already, so.
That's right.
Yeah.
And that date comes around really quickly.
It does, very quickly.
You see a lot of people who procrastinate. We can't be procrastinating,
no,
right?
and even though we have till April 17th this year, you know, you still want to take the best advantage of that time.
Absolutely. All right. For those of us who are expecting some kind of return, and what is that? Is that 40% of us, 50%?
It's probably close to 40% of us. More of us, unfortunately, owe than we get back in a return, and that's due to a number of variable things. So I think the first important thing when you get your tax return is to look to see if you can actually save that money. Starting a little nest egg, starting a retirement fund, college fund, with those dollars.
So that's your first tip, with what to do with the money you are expecting to come back to you.
See if you can save that money. Unfortunately, you've let the IRS earn interest on your money over a period of time, and really the goal is to really don't owe any taxes at all, but to really get that money and get it in savings so that you yourself can start to earn some interest on that.
And do most people not save? Is that what you're saying here?
Yeah, most people don't save. They go on vacation, or you get promotions from stores to buy furniture and things like that. And really the smartest thing to do is to save that money.
Then the second thing you say is to pay off debt with it.
Correct.
If you don't want to save it.
If you can't save it, at least pay off debt. Sometimes people have accumulated credit card debt for one reason or another. The holidays have just come by. So it's really wise to pay down that debt, or again put it into savings.
And when you said pay off debt, what would you
credit card
advise?
debt.
Credit card debt
Credit
first.
card debt, because those are usually your highest interest rates. You know, your mortgage debt, if you're going to have debt, is good debt. And most of us have car loans, and those are fixed rates. But credit card rates can run very, very high. So if you can at least pay that debt off, then it gives you the capability to start saving.
And target the credit cards with the highest
interest rate first, definitely. Yes.
All right. The third tip you have is major home improvement. Why?
Well, lots of times when people, especially in this economy, you had a lot of first-time buyers taking advantage of the tax credit a couple of years ago, and there's improvements that they want to do with their home, and maybe they just don't have that amount of money to go ahead and do something. You know, our real estate is an asset, so to do some type of improvement, maybe the driveway needs to be paved, maybe you need replacement windows, maybe the roof needs to be done. So you look to your home, as an asset to increase the value of that, and that'll help you down the road also.
Because many times, really, most people only have their home as their only asset.
Correct.
So it's good to improve that. All right. The last thing you say is to invest that money.
Right. So when you're starting to save money and you're going to invest, I mean, it's a smart thing, again, to start that nest egg. Lots of times people come up to me and they say, Liz, if I had $100,000, I could hire you as my financial advisor. You don't need to have $100,000. You can start as slow as an amount of $1,000. And it's really developing the habit and discipline to start saving. You put a little amount in. On a monthly basis, you save $50 to $100, and next thing you know, it starts to accumulate and starts to grow. So it's really good to have that money there in place.
Very good. Now, you say 40% of us will probably get money back, so that means 60% of us
end up owing.
Yeah. We're going to owe money.
Whether the federal or the state. So
what do we need to do to help ourselves?
You know, again, going to your tax professional, looking at the tax break that you're in or tax rate that you're in, to see where you are. Sometimes just increasing a little bit to your 401k plan can help reduce your tax burden. Other times starting your own retirement plan. I know a lot of small businesses don't understand that maybe they can receive a little bit of a break.
How does that work?
Well, it really is something very easy to do. I mean, if you're working with a financial advisor or professional, it's really just setting up an account, just like opening a bank account, and putting money in to start to save. So what ends up happening is, let's just say, you make $20,000 a year. I'll use a small amount of money. And you can save $5,000 into a traditional IRA. Now you're only paying taxes on the $15,000 versus the $20,000. So you're saving your tax burden for today, and you're putting money away from the future.
And that makes a lot of sense, but not enough people are doing this?
No, a lot of people don't realize that they're not taking the whole $5,000, they're really getting a percentage of that back in their paycheck. So they're really not understanding that's not really dollar for dollar. It really has to do with whatever tax bracket they're in order to save the money.
You also say to ask your financial advisor how to reduce the tax burden when you've outgrown the major tax write-offs.
Right. You know, when we have deductions and things like that, many of us, when, you know, we first buy a home, we have our mortgage interest. Our children are younger. We're putting children through college, so we get educational credits. But there comes a point in time when you're starting to really accumulate your wealth for retirement, and a lot of those deductions are no longer in place. So there's things to do with tax-free muni bonds and different things like that. Different financial advisors have some great ideas.
And those are pretty complex, so you really want to get expert advice.
You definitely want to have expert advice because no one's the same. Every situation is different.
All right, we have a little more time here. Let's talk about those the differences between the traditional IRAs and the Roth IRAs, and how is that going to benefit the taxpayer?
Well, what happens lots of times is if you are eligible to take a Roth IRA tax deduction, so what happens is that with a traditional IRA or a 401k plan, that money is deducted off of your net income. As the example that I used before.
Yes.
And those dollars are saved for retirement. And when you turn 59 and a half or older, you take that income out. However, you're going to pay taxes on that income. Versus a Roth IRA, if you're using after-tax dollars, and that money is going to grow. And when you do go to retire and you turn over 59 and a half and you do go to take the money out, you don't pay any taxes on those dollars. So it's really looking at the benefits of both of those vehicles, because when you do go to retire, unfortunately, there are so many things that are going to be taxable. Pensions, Social Security, 401k plans, traditional IRAs. So looking to the Roth as an alternative, as long as you fall within the income limits, is really a good thing to do.
So you have to fall in a certain
yes, you do.
Criteria.
Single, married, there's certain dollar amounts that you have to fall into.
Wow. All right. And if you want to get more information from Liz at Barnum Financial Group, all you have to do is call that phone number and website right there on the screen, or come to WTNH.com and click on Connecticut Style Barnum Financial Group in Wethersfield. That phone number, Liz, is 860-258-3822. Excellent.